What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So what are we talking about today? We're going to be talking about Biden and McCarthy. Speaker McCarthy and President Biden will be meeting today, and they'll be discussing the debt ceiling. So we're going to focus on that. We're also going to talk about vaccine makers keeping $1.4 billion in prepayments for canceled COVID shots. So we're going to focus on that. And then we're going to talk about this new variant, the Kraken variant. Does this variant make you sicker? So we're going to focus on that as well. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. By clicking all, you'll get notified anytime we post a video. We do daily videos here, so by clicking the bell notification and clicking all, you should be getting updated every day. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is this meeting between President Biden and Speaker McCarthy. So they'll be having this meeting later today, and they're going to be discussing the debt ceiling and negotiating a budget. So those are the two things that are on the table right now. Now, when it comes to the debt ceiling, we already know that the White House says they need to raise the debt ceiling without any question. There's not going to be a negotiation when it comes to that. Now, they're also going to be discussing a budget for 2024. And what Speaker McCarthy wants to do is he wants to tie them together. So tie the debt ceiling to the budget for 2024, but the White House doesn't want to do that. So we're going to have to see what comes of this meeting. And usually what we'll see is we'll see Speaker McCarthy come out after the meeting, and he'll talk about the positives and negatives of the meeting and what they really got done. Now, Speaker McCarthy has already indicated that they're going to raise the debt ceiling. He's pretty much said that. He said that we're not going to default. So raising the debt ceiling doesn't seem like it's going to be an issue. It looks like they're going to do it anyway. They're not going to default, so they're going to raise the debt ceiling. And just the talk of the budget for 2024 is the main thing that they're going to be focused on. And the reality is the Speaker has control of the purse. He has control of the money. So the White House doesn't even have to chime in. The Speaker can do what he wants when it comes to the funding. So he can approve it or deny it, and he can move bills. The bills that he wants to move, he can move through Congress. Now, he can't move it through the Senate, but he can move it through the House. And if he controls the House, the Senate can't do anything without him. And so this negotiation with the White House, it really doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything when it comes to actual money, because that money is coming from Congress. It's not coming from the White House. Okay, the next story I want to talk about here, and this is medicine for profit. That's what I'm calling this. Now, vaccine makers kept $1.4 billion in prepayments for canceled COVID shots for the world's poor. And then separately, it says right here, separately, Johnson & Johnson is demanding additional payment for unwanted shots. Confidential documents show. So this is a situation, and this is terrible. This is this Gavin organization, or the Gavi organization. And what they were doing is they were buying up actually putting these prepayments out there for the COVID shots. And the reason that they were doing that is because in a lot of these areas of the world, this Gavi organization was stepping in and providing these COVID shots. And so we know that the COVID vaccine right now, it's dropping off. I mean, there are not a lot of people that are out there getting shots anymore. And so basically, it's plummeting when it comes to the need for vaccines. And so what's going on is we have these companies that took the prepayments, and prepayments, I guess, get things going. And so now they're saying, you know what? We're not going to give you your money back. The prepayment, that was non-refundable, basically. And in Johnson & Johnson's situation, they want more payments, even though they're not sending out the shots. And that's the big issue here is a lot of these companies never delivered the shots. They took the prepayments. They didn't deliver the shots. And they're not going to deliver the shots because they've been canceled. So some of these companies like Moderna, they've met with this Gavi organization, and they've come to some type of an agreement. It looks like they haven't given the money back. And so the money is still, they kept the money, but they've come to some type of agreement. So I guess there was probably something in a contract that said that they were going to give a first payment and then a second payment and what have you. But as of right now, they were able to cancel. Gavi was able to cancel their orders with these other companies. However, like I said, Johnson & Johnson, they're playing hardball here, and they're saying, no, you know what? You're going to continue to make payments to us, even though we're not going to deliver the product, or we're going to deliver the product anyway, even though you don't want us to deliver the product. And so it's really sad. I mean, and this is capitalism at its worst. I mean, I like capitalism, but when it comes to situations like this, where you're forcing things on people, and we're talking in the tune of billions of dollars, it's really sad. It's a real sad situation. And this article was just posted. This is the New York Times posting this article, just talking about this whole situation and how this Gavi organization they're struggling to try to recoup some of the money back. And it's sad. It really is. I can't say anything else about this. I mean, I look at this Johnson & Johnson company and I'm thinking to myself, this is how can you be that cruel when it comes to a situation where I can see it if you say, okay, the prepayments, they're gone and you're not going to get those back. But to ask them to pay even more, even though either you're not going to deliver the product or you're going to force that product on them, is really, really cruel. And so this is a story I'm going to definitely continue to follow because it needs as much spotlight as possible. Maybe Johnson & Johnson will be pressured into, okay, let's just sever all ties, and this whatever we received is what we received, and don't ask for future payments. And you see how this vaccine debate has really locked these companies into just wanting more and more money, and it's really sad. It's a real sad situation. So we'll continue to follow this story. Okay, and the last thing we're going to talk about today is, does the latest COVID variant make you sicker? And we're talking about this Kraken variant. And we'll play a clip, and then we're going to talk about it at the end. Here we go.
COVID booster does protect you from the new variant for at least 3 months.
The World Health Organization says this Kraken variant is the most contagious one so far, but does it make you sicker than the previous mutations? Jerry Carnes verifies.
In the scientific world, it's known as XBB.1.5. It's the Omicron variant that now accounts for more than half of the COVID cases in the United States. Some are calling it the Kraken variant, named for the multi-tentacled mythical creature. But does it make you sicker than previous versions of COVID? Let's verify. Our sources are the World Health Organization, the Centers for Disease Control, and Dr. Harry Hyman of Georgia State University School of Public Health. According to data from the CDC, January has seen a slight uptick in COVID hospitalizations nationwide, and XBB.1.5 is now the dominant variant here. Dr. Hyman says the mutations make the variant more transmissible.
What we are seeing is an increasingly savvy virus, which continues to do what viruses do, which is that they mutate and change in ways that help them to be more transmissible.
The latest report from the World Health Organization states that scientists are still assessing the severity, but so far there's no indication that it makes people sicker than previous variants. However, the WHO notes that they need more research, since information about the variant is coming only from the United States. Dr. Hyman cautions this fast-spreading variant comes as only a third of us have received the updated COVID booster.
We've dropped our guard. I mean, if you look at vaccine uptake for the new booster in long-term care settings, it's abysmally low.
So we can verify that the new dominant COVID variant does not make you sicker, but the WHO says it is watching to see if it causes COVID cases to rise worldwide.
Okay, so you saw there you were just talking about the Kraken variant, and it doesn't make you sicker. But we do have these new variants, and we continue to see this happening, and the vaccine levels have dropped. People are not getting shots like they were getting before. These booster shots are not getting them at the same rate. And maybe some of this has to do with just all the stuff that's going on with Pfizer and these different companies that, we're finding more information out about some of these different companies and how they were handling the situation when it came to the vaccines and all that. And so this is definitely something we need to keep an eye on when it comes to the COVID variants. But this virus continues to mutate. And so we're going to see these different variants. But I want to know what you guys think about all the situations that are going on right now when it comes to the president meeting in the White House, this whole situation with the prepayments and these pharmaceutical companies not wanting to provide any type of a refund, as well as this new variant. Let me know about all those topics in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.